Okay, now to remember how to do this. It is bugged, so...
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
Stuck to the chief first, I think. The lean, hunchbacked man studies you with his piercing gaze. One of his eyes looks you up and down. The other has been replaced by a bulky Dogmatic, ancient and adorned with gold, but is deactivated for some reason. He states in a dry voice, "The ghosts of nothingness have entered the deck of the Akgen tribe. I greet your tribe, we come in peace." The man shrugs indifferently, his voice is tinged with sympathy. "It does not matter, you are ghosts." Pascal, what do you make of these people? Hypothesis: this primitive community is made of descendants of low-ranking technomats who once served this deck. The name Akgen derives from the category Akgen. Ak stood for the Acolyte category, which served the main decks. Gen referred to the service staff who were assigned general, as opposed to specialized maintenance duties. The man looks at you and Pascal with indifference. He does not seem to have understood a single word. Have you seen anything unusual lately? The echo of an old crime was heard beneath the arcing vaults of our home. The tribesman nods at you gloomily. A ghost of nothingness walked among us, of like appearance to you but without a face. He spoke words that must not be spoken, and then penetrated the chamber of observers. And our abode was shaken by the wrath of the gods for days, and we felt as though we were drifting through nothingness. Pascal lowers his head and says quietly, "That is him, my mentor, Amernat." What is the chamber of observus? An abode of deities and mighty spirits, secluded from mortals. The man points toward the entrance to the left shaft. Down this great tube they used to descend to the mortals. Now they have all retired to the house of observus, the calm and keen-sighted, there to remember and warn the world that once was. The unit has given us a distorted description of the observatorium, the bay that housed the Hermeticos Bridge. There, under a grand dome of glass Crete, the wisest hierarchs of the Adeptus Mechanicus, which spent time in reflection and strive to discern the Omnissiah's guiding signs in the glitter of the stars. Pascal hesitates, then adds, worriedly, "Correction, this data is a hypothesis. An archive search yielded no confirmation of this data. My possession of it is an anomalous cognitive fluctuation." Okay. Was he alone? No, other ghosts walked with him, but he alone had a mind and a will. The others did his bidding. Servitors, probably. I want to get in there. Abandon this thought. Your kind can't go in there. The great tube was made for the travels of gods, not mortals. Only one who has the blessing of the great spirit who rules this deck may approach the great tube. But even such a one will have tried in vain, for the great tube's spirits have sealed its gate and will only open it to those who know the divine word. And the rust wraiths ensure that humans do not steal the word. They'll make short work of any thief. Your guesses are amazingly spot on, Pascal. The tech priest is taken aback. He pauses to think, then says with no great confidence, "This statement is false. Each of the hypotheses was logically deduced from our present situation." So how did the faceless ghost get in? He knew the secret. The spell was not of divine origin. Its power surpassed that of the gods. It was born in the mysterious depths of irregularity, and soon after the mortal first uttered it, the world was no more. Pascal waves a Macandriite at him in annoyed dismissal and says impatiently, "The blessed Amarnat can command any mechanism on his ship. The indoctrinal heresy uttered by the unit is unworthy of attention." Okay. Good. Don't seek to enter the god's abode, Ghost. It is no place for you. It's not up to you, I think. Farewell, Ghost. I hope the nothingness summons you back into its embrace soon. Fuck you. Alright. The ancient servitor seems dead. The infrequent twitching of his head is the only glimmer of life left in him. The numerous dogmatic regalia embedded in the body of this servant of the Omnissiah speak to his high standing and devoutness. Can you activate him, Pascal? The tech priest carefully touches the servitor's withered body with his Macandriites. Data spikes slide out of them and sink into the servitor's augmetics. Pascal's vox sounds thoughtful and slightly puzzled. I identify this unit as Magus Logus Hectodon the Sixth. The unit received 7 commendations for advances in astrography, recorded in the Fleet Archive. The unit he liked watching the stars. He called them the beacons left for us by the Omnissiah. The servitor gives a jolt, raises his head, and fixes his augmented eyes on you. The large black circles of his visors are cloudy and covered in scratches. A pained moan comes from the speaker of the servant's throat. Unit status. Operational. Unit identifies itself as no data available. Error. Malfunction. The Omnissiah knows what? Pascal sighs heavily. He is suffering. This unit is long past its operational life expectancy, but the particularly ancient and sacred true flesh it was awarded for its outstanding service to the fleet is still prolonging its years. Do you know him? This statement is false. My archive has no record of any encounters with this unit or any archive requests concerning it. I just know, and I grieve. Pascal touches the servitor's pale skin covered in inky cacography. The tribespeople inscribed his body with the blessed manual of maintenance and repair. Hypothesis. Ignorant as to the true purpose of this litany, they perceived it as a health-replenishing magic spell. Tech Brother Hectodon the Sixth. This unit identifies itself as Pascal Hanuman. Can you hear me? Do you know me? Can you tell me what happened here? A jumble of sounds comes from the servitor's speaker, as if a very old man who has outlived his faculty of speech is trying to utter once familiar words now strange to him. Then suddenly a spark lights up in his visors, and he utters with great strain, executing function, all reserve capacities engaged in executing primary function. What? We would like to go to the observatorium. Request denied. The rattle in the servitor's voice could be easily mistaken for indignation. Access to the lift system denied. Services in obscuratoria mode. An obscuratoria is a complete ban on holy ministry within the compound. Any and all sacred maintenance procedures are deferred until after the ban is lifted. An obscuratoria is declared when a temple has been compromised by suspected corruption, before a battle or in the event of a major critical incident. This unit cannot select the appropriate countermanding order without knowing the exact reason obscuratoria was declared. I was doing fine with that word. What happened? It's a tongue twister. The elderly tech shaman looks up at you with dim eyes. He smells strongly of exhaust fumes. Have you come to speak to the great Pref, ghosts? Pref will not speak to your lesser tongue, but I can help. I can interpret. Who is Pref? Our deck's great patron spirit, who protects it and watches over everything that happens on it. Pref used to be a kind father to us until wicked people tricked him. That was when he disowned the mortals who lived here. He wiped the names of everyone who used to be under his patronage from his memory, and no longer recognized their faces. Since then, Pref has been a harsh and cruel-hearted master who is deaf to our prayers. Pref hypothesis: the barbarian is using this debased designation to refer to a perfect enumerator, an especially sacred cogitator served by all of the deck's junior machine spirits. I am registering a Category 6 heresy. The tribesman claims to communicate with it. Only enlightened adepts of the Omnissiah are permitted to interact directly with a perfect enumerator. Hypothesis: the part of the legend that speaks of disowning the mortals and forgetting their faces describes the removal of access rights from authorized units. For reasons unknown, the perfect enumerator was ordered to cease accepting commands from outsiders. How do you talk to Pref? Like this. The tech shaman raises the roaring mechanical sensor and inhales a lungful of its aromatic exhaust fumes. The tribesman's eyes grow dim, and he puts his hands on his drum. His fingers strike the taut synthetic leather with remarkable deftness and rhythm. Pascal frowns and says darkly, I am registering a blasted layman. This blessed smoke is meant for the sacred machines, not your lungs. Then the tech priest falls silent and listens carefully, before uttering in astonishment, this primitive melody is a language, our language, a variety of rhythm-based tech vernacular in which meaning is created by the links of pauses between the signals. The Iron Priests of Fenris can speak in hierarchy using flutes, drums, and bone rattles. Some of the rituals they used to appease machine spirits loathe the sound of the vox. We have come to plead for Pref's benevolence. Every word you say is accompanied by a series of quick drum taps in a complex, choppy rhythm. Cracking comes in response from a vox hidden somewhere inside the wall. The tech shaman tilts his head and says, the great Pref would like to know who is speaking to him. The perfect enumerator is running the identification procedure. Given the existing data on the machine spirit refusal to follow orders within the chain of command, I predict that standard identifiers will be assigned a low priority. Introduce yourself formally, Pascal. Tell him you are the Messiah of Discontinuing. I think that's the one he ought to pick. The others are just fillers. This unit is Magus Pascal Hanuman. He hesitates a little, then adds, some identify him as the Messiah of Discontinuing, although that statement is false. The tech shaman translates Pascal's words into quick taps on his drum, its tangling circuit boards jingling dramatically. He inhales the aromatic exhaust of his roaring sensor, listens carefully, and says, in a strained voice, Pref asks why he should treat your words with respect and not scorn them. Pascal's voice becomes dry and bristly. The machine spirit is requested to know this unit's access privileges. It refuses to submit to a stranger's will without a compelling reason. Machine spirits can be capricious and undisciplined. After years without sanctified maintenance, this one may have forgotten all about obedience normally. In cases like these, a tech priest would bring the wayward spirit to its senses with a shock from an electric prod, or a blow from a wrench, accompanied by the litany of uninterruptible obedience. I think a show of force is in order to show this machine its place. This statement is true. Pascal extends a hand toward the machine, which is enveloped in showers of sparks. The crack in the tech priest's armored respirator shines a bright green. There is a steel in his voice. My power is my authorization. Acknowledge it, or you will regret it, wayward spirit. Ulfar clutches his charm with one hand and his battle-ready weapon with the other. You hear him whisper tensely, Spirit Wolf, shield my soul from the terrors of the warp and the air of angered spirits. The tech shaman shouts out in fear and shakes his drums frantically. Pref acknowledges your power, Ghost. He does. He asks why you seek his friendship. A pained rattle comes from Pascal's vox as he touches the crack in his armor, which is no longer glowing. He looks as though he has a sudden toothache, then says with effort, Hypothesis. The perfect enumerator requests is to be interpreted as, what is the purpose of your visit? Tell it you're on a mission from Amernat. Perhaps the spirit knows who he is. Tell something profound and spiritual and invoke the Omnissiah. I'm fulfilling my sacred duty of service to the machine god. I intend to protect this blessed ship and the servants of the Omnissiah aboard it. The tech shaman throws up his hands and interprets the volley of crackles emitted by the machine. The great Pref does not honor your reason for seeking his friendship. He wants you to leave. Pascal's vox hisses angrily, and he shakes his head. The perfect enumerator's reaction is anomalous. Such disregard for regalia can only be explained by a protocol signifying an extreme degree of danger to the vessel. The fuck do we do, though? Maybe you can go through the dialogue again. Tell you are on a mission from Amernat, perhaps. Okay. You know the answer yourself, Pascal. I have come to discontinue the cycle. There we go. Tech Shaman listens to the crackling that comes in response and opens his mouth to say something only for Pascal to interpret him in a tone of authority. The perfect enumerator has stated that he knows my name and is familiar with my power. He respects my mission and grants me a place within the crew's chain of command. Your work here is done, Benharic Interpreter. Pascal looks at you and adds with a slight surprise, I remember this language now, or more precisely, this unit used to know it, and now it remembers having known it. The tech priest turns toward the wall with the sacred mechanisms concealed inside it, and says doubtfully, I am registering an anomaly. The data exchange deviated from the standard registration procedure. The perfect enumerator was commanded to limit the number of people who have clearance to issue orders, including even high-ranking tech priests from other ships. It was tasked with defending the observatorium as if it were under siege. Our mutual introduction rather resembled an exchange of secret passwords. Okay, are we good now? No?
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
Do we speak to the chief? Tribesman? Someone.
Know your duty.
Some cogitator.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Speak to him again. Oh, come on. What is it? What do you want? Yeah.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
Maybe you have to just go through everything, click all this stuff.
Let us walk this path to the end.
Okay. Find clues that could explain why the lift is
With
blocked.
each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
Order the control servitor to activate the lift. Pascal, unblock the lift. Hypothesis: as soon as the lift going up to the observatorium is operational, we will be attacked. The deck guard will activate and attack us, requesting confirmation of readiness for combat. I am ready, dude. I'm born ready. As its first pronouncement, this unit declares that no security threat to the High Observatorium is present. As its second pronouncement, this unit orders the operation of the lift system to be restored. As its third pronouncement, this unit confirms its authorization to issue that order. An intricate, monumental, and piercing Binharic aria pours from Pascal's Vox, encoded its signal in Helmsman authority to give orders on the ship. The servitor stares at Pascal with visored eyes and bows his head awkwardly. Regalia identified. I greet the venerable Magus and will execute the order presently. Lift system activated. The servitor's last words are drowned out by a harrowing screech that rolls across the deck as several shrill voices wail. Security perimeter breach for the Messiah.
The impure cannot escape their fate.
You'll make a suitable sacrifice.
Okay, I thought they'd have high armor, but this isn't super bad. Okay. Let's position in a way where we have line of sight. Okay.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain. If only that were possible.
Doubt is for the weak.
$800. Okay. Well, let's take this one out first then. Try to at least.
I'll do it.
1, 2, 3.
As the Emperor commands.
Cool. Then we do some buffs. Okay. We could give him a turn.
Suits my purposes. Not a problem for me.
The Emperor commands.
We could also do this.
And so shall it be done. Rejoice.
Says do all the
in
buffs.
service.
Okay.
I'll bring glory to my bloodline.
I'll do it. Faith without you, my Emperor. Each strike is a prayer.
Okay. I need to reposition.
I'll do it. For you, my Emperor.
Oh, come on.
This is why I was chosen. Eradicated. I refuse refuse. As the Emperor... I'll do it.
Okay.
In thy light I stand, and thy light I crave. I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. As the Emperor... my Emperor! That is not the Emperor's will.
Alright.
I have
Fine.
read tomes of military tactics. If I may, I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Survey to debuff both? No? Well, let's get the one with the highest health.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Nothing I can't do. Suits my purposes. Already done. Suits my purposes.
Oh, actually, yeah.
Enjoy your luck while you still draw breath.
Let's move them so they have angles, but I think it's over.
Rejoice in battle! I'll do it. Faith without this is why I was chosen.
Come on.
I'll do it. Oh, you, my Emperor!
Our foes reek of cowardice. My hand is thunder. My strike is ruin. I in disgrace. Feel the icy bite of death. I have become the All-Father's worthy instrument! I will carve runes out of your bones! Die in disgrace!
Okay. That takes care of that.
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
Now for the most confusing plotline ever. Could have been able to save. Because by the end of it, I didn't even know what the consequences were. But we'll try to reread it and see
Iron watches over
what
us.
it's all about. The face of the tech priest standing opposite is hidden behind a brass mask. Rather than be in one piece, it is assembled from the fragments of many augments. You have met this man before. He is called Brass Whisper, a member of Lord Inquisitor Calcazar's retinue. There you are, tech brother. Brass Whisper's voice is raspy and punctuated. His gaze is turned toward Pascal. The salutatory procedure will be performed, and the here we go with the fucking tech priest lingo. The identification codes will be verified after the priority request has been executed. Tell me where the blessed amaranth is. Pascal's voice clangs like steel. A cracked chuckle from behind his mask. You still don't understand. No, I don't. You are from Calcazar's retinue. Does he have anything to do with this? Marginally, he used to play a major part in this story. No, not anymore. This meeting is held upon my initiative. That said, I am still under the protection of the Lord Inquisitor and the Cognitus fleet. Keep that in mind. Local spoke of a ghost without a face. Did they mean you? Response, affirmative. In order to move the Hermetico out of the procession of the damned, we had to disturb the pitiful locals. We are looking for Archmagus Amernat, and we want answers. Looking? How absurd. You lack the very concept of what you are looking for, layman. You expect to find a man, and Amernat never was one. He was never one person. The Amernat Collective was created by a group of tech priests who renounced individuality and merged into a hive mind. A mind that reasoned algorithmically, but was guided by the principles of convictions in a righteous spirit. A superego that brought them to one step closer to the Omnissiah. You are looking for Archmagus Amernat, you say? Something clicks inside Brass Whisper's mask, and his voice becomes louder and harsher, as if coated in liquid metal. He has been by your side all this time. This statement is false. The hypothesis is without Brass Whisper interrupts him with a forceful shout. As the cycle coils in multitudinous loops, it intersects with itself and locks us in a cage of data vows. Pascal shudders as if struck by the motive force itself. Macandriites rise like steel wings behind his shoulders. The voice from his Vox speakers takes an otherworldly profundity and power, and therefore the cycle must be discontinued. Are you saying Pascal is part of the hive mind? He was its original creator. The Amernat Collective was designed to be a philosopher and a researcher. The concepts he produced were so powerful that they almost destroyed the Cognitance fleet. But then he faced an unsolvable dilemma, and that was when Amernat came apart. The 7 constituent servants of the Omnissiah hid their own memories from themselves behind false personas and were sent off to various parts of the Coronus expanse. They went into hiding. Each had to live in solitude for many decades, accumulating observations and eventually bringing that experience to a reunited Amernat who would tackle the dilemma once more. That would be the restoration. Sorrow echoes in Pascal's inhuman voice. 211 Terran years. It was such a long time ago. Your companion looks overwhelmed and pensive. So the tech priests of the name Hanuman are all parts of Amernat? Yes, 6 mental keynotes. Dement was paranoia after the separation. He sensed that his memory was a web of lies, and that feeling drove him to the depths of madness. Tarzus was faith, fiery and unyielding. Axiomantha was logic, unclouded by emotion or value judgments. Abel was her good twin, imagination. He did not know his past, just like the others, but he felt more than they did. He was always different. That was why he was the first to get close to the restoration. One of the first. Pascal was judgment, the moderator of the cognitive process, the one who makes the decision. Pascal's voice rises to the fault of the observatorium and rumbles beneath it like thunder. And Nihil, the brass mask starts to unlock with a hissing sound. The augmetics bend back, revealing a face disfigured by burns. A woman's face with a pair of darkly radiant, vibrant eyes. Skepticism. Skepticism, rather. What the fuck? The one who doubts. Okay, she is the one who doubts. Did Amernat believe he could form again? The plan sounds risky. The restoration was statistically calculated on a level beyond your comprehension, Lehman. Billions of variables were taken into account. Countless scenarios went into the development of optimal strategies. Two Amernat units meeting each other was an inevitable certainty. The matching identifiers were to be a spark that would start a chain reaction, and that was precisely what happened. A ringing brittleness enters Pascal's voice. We were motivated by the perfect stimuli: curiosity, anxiety, shame. Each part of us was hostage to the legend of a betrayal it had committed, for suffering drove us to search and strive. What was the name of the dilemma? Its name was Escatos, the secret of the right of putting a machine spirit to death, a technology embodying the discontinuing of the cycle. Was it meant to exist, or was it the acme of profanity against the Omnissiah and his creation? Escatos was the perfect weapon against creations of the Omnissiah that had been corrupted by the enemies, but also against his faithful servants. Its spread could bring victory to the Imperium, or it could destroy it. Escatos could spell the end of the Adeptus Mechanicus, for it was the perfect answer to the power wielded by the cult of the machine god. Was it a blessing or a curse? There was no answer. Protraction was unacceptable, and so a way was found to shelve the issue. And I found the answer. Escatos, whatever the fuck, should not exist. We will correct our mistake. What is Escatos? The power of machine negation, a new spheric signal that interrupts any and all life created by the Omnissiah. A green flash runs along the crack in Pascal's respirator, the power that I used to tap into unconsciously. Shared knowledge lay dormant inside the mind of every Amernat unit. You tried to decrypt the other Hanumans, neurocogitators, did you not? But to no avail. It was you who created the cipher that locked Amernat's memory. You are the maimed hunter. You tried to kill the other Hanumans. The statement is true. I was admitted into the Lord Inquisitor's retinue and authorized to study a dangerous artifact taken from Amernat. I tried to exert some kind of influence on me, but my data vows protected me. The short circuit awakened some of my memories. I conducted an analysis, solved the Escatos dilemma, and began to act. My agents all but terminated Tarzus, but he hid under an armor of martyrdom and insanity. An attempt to intercept Pascal unaltered Tempolum Calixis X-17 failed because Abel had summoned him. The assassins caught up to him at Raikat Minoris starport, but he was able to escape again. Another group went after Abel, only to perish at an electro-priest monastery. You dispatched the Ments who had lapsed into heresy. Axiomantha simply disappeared until she suddenly turned up dead on Eophrates II. I have no idea how she managed to hide from me. Idiot, Calcazar was harboring Axiomantha the whole time. She was working for him. I'm registering a lie. The Lord Inquisitor shared my conviction that Amernat's legacy had to be destroyed. He was summoned to the Coronus Expanse by loyal members of the Cognizance fleet. In order to depose Amernat, it was his troops that attacked the Hermetico in an attempt to obliterate our schismatic creation. So that was how you got on board the ship and into the observatorium. Our traitorous tech comrades gave Calcazar the access codes to the bridge, and he gave them to you. Acute conviction vibrates in Pascal's voice as he makes these quiet statements of fact. He is not asking questions, he is passing judgment. You are deceived, sister. Calcazar appropriated our work, he continued our research, no longer bound by the Omnissiah's canon, and you enabled him by destroying those who could return and reclaim his bloody prize. Lies! Something you have not heard before creeps into Niall's voice, a note of fear. You betrayed your brothers and sisters. Such an act is unforgivable. Yours was a grim duty, but you were unflinching in fulfilling it. I'm gonna go with this one. With a mixture of pain and pride, Brass Whisperer replies, "We all chose the path of martyrdom. I merely helped them reach the supreme goal at the end of that path." Niall's voice is imperiously metallic. "Tech brother, I offer you the chance to yield peacefully to a fate that will please the Omnissiah. Do not resist your termination, and you will pass into oblivion as my friend and fellow believer." Pascal's reply sweeps Niall's words away like a gust of wind. His optical visor turns a blinding blue. "No, Tech Sister. Refraining from resistance was never our way. I am an explorator, a reconnoiterer of knowledge." Reconnoiterer of knowledge? "I have brought fire to 100 worlds. I have gleaned 1,000 secrets in the darkness. I am an agent of unbridled will. I will not yield to oblivion, nor for oblivion itself fears me." Okay, that's kind of badass. Smile at Niall. "This is my companion Pascal Hanneman, and you made a mistake in meddling with him. If anyone cares to hear a rogue trader's opinion on the matter, I..." Think about what she said, Pascal. Your secret is dangerous. Okay. I'm gonna go with this one. "You wanted me to awaken, Tech Sister. Here I am, holding you to account." Niall's disfigured lips twist and seeds of dismay sprout in her voice. "I lured you here for a reason, Pascal. I wanted you to see what our followers had become. This is what deviation from dogma ends in. Breach of canon begets ignorance. Ignorance begets blasphemy. All we did was breed corruption, schism. Remember when they came to dispose us? We resisted them and destroyed this ship, a sacred relic, an arc mechanicus older than our priesthood itself. Here, in this hall, we released Estikos and allowed an unconscionable heresy to happen. Do you remember? Do you remember how you got your cleft jaw?" Pascal looks thoughtful as he touches the crack running across his armored respirator. A green spark runs through the deep gash left by an enemy's weapon in the metal. "And it's sufficed for you to merely show up in the expanse again for the schism to rear its head once more. The Cognizance fleet is already being torn apart by fratricidal war. Is this what we wanted? Let us finish this. Let us discontinue the cycle." Now the words of the one who once called herself Brass Whisper sound more like a plea. The voice that answers her is no human voice. It could belong to a giant void ship or forge world. If they could speak. "You violated procedure. Skepticism, you usurped the function of another. You challenge only. You do not make the decisions here, I do." "You are right, Pascal. You are the decision maker. We must not fight. We are surrounded by enemies. Let us destroy her, Pascal." Alright, let's go with that one. Pascal extends a Mechandriot toward Niall and pronounces, "Tech Sister, my judgment of you and your actions is one of condemnation. Tampering with procedure is unacceptable. Sabotaging the experiment is apostasy. For your betrayal, your vital functions will be terminated in the name of the Messiah of the Discontinuing." A greenish pulse of energy is born inside Pascal's augmetics and darts toward Niall like a furious lightning bolt. Alright. The green energy entangles Niall like a net, burning her true flesh, draining the life force from her augmetics. and mechanical components, but she focuses her will and strikes back at Pascal with a pulse of her own. The rattling voice, no longer human, rages and roars like a forest fire. I refuse to recognize you as the Messiah. I do not believe in you. That is your problem. You have always been too skeptical. Alright.
Thrust you into eternal darkness.
It kind of makes sense now. But yeah, still. Just the way they talk, you know. They overcomplicate simple matters, to say the least. Alright. Well, we shall do the usual. We forgot to move Cassia. So just bring her
Cross my gaze.
somewhere here. Okay.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
And then
If
we
I may,
try to get some squishies like these. Oh,
Out is for
let's
the
do the
weak.
hum first, or him.
None can escape the
Okay.
Emperor's judgment.
Oh, I forgot to put the bounty. Alright, well, let's look for another. For the sake of building momentum.
As the Emperor commands, I am eradicated.
Good.
Faith without deeds is worthless.
Now we do this. And then, get some more.
None can escape the Emperor's
Alright,
judgment.
easy peasy. Could send in our main guy.
Let my fury rain down upon thee.
Perfect start, I'd say. Okay. Go.
I am fear incarnate.
I won't suffer this. Your corrupt way has failed you.
I'd rather, leave her last, so. Oh, we can get some damage on
My
her here.
enemies tremble at the sound of my steps. And so it shall be another step towards our ultimate victory. The warning to all those who seek to defy us. Actions will speak louder than words. And so shall it be done.
Okay. Just want to light everyone on fire. And then, go again.
I will not be deterred. Power resides in the will of the righteous. And so shall it be done.
With a strong AoE one.
Rejoice in service.
Okay, not so strong after all.
The Emperor commands. Let this be a warning to all.
Alright.
I am the chosen weapon that will crush the heathens. I can't allow myself to do this.
Well, we cleared everything pretty much. We could go again, but
me?
I feel like
Insist, Lord Captain. Isn't this a job for the serfs? I am a navigator, not a servitor.
we could clear this side at least with her. He doesn't take damage from warp stuff, or what's the... Okay, cancel then. Is there a phase 2 or something? Apparently so. Okay, let's send him again.
In the name of House Orselio, I shall prevail.
Not another step towards our ultimate victory.
Trying to be in a spot where I don't hit them.
Your end is nigh.
Okay.
And so shall it be done. Rejoice in service.
Argenta goes next, so gonna give her
Emperor
the Dogma
commands.
ult.
I will not be deterred.
Okay. And maybe do this.
I'll paint your death in
Cleanses the body.
Cool. Stop! Thou shalt not create a schism. Thou shalt not suffer a heretic. Like the hand of a deity, the Macandriat extends over Niles, lying convulsing on the deck. I did not want this, tech sister, but the procedure must be completed. Farewell. His claw carefully removes a mangled, soot-covered neural cogitator from Brass Whisper's head. The tech priest shudders, and peace descends over her disfigured face. Take a closer look at Pascal. Tech priest looks the same as before, yet different. His morbid aura of martyrdom has given way to a calm and powerful halo of purposefulness. His Macandriarch move with the grace of an unscrupulous dance. The scars left by loss and doubt have turned into dark threads in a radiant body confident in its next step. And his voice, a voice born in the nuclear font of a star and hardened in the cold of the interplanetary void. Okay, well, I'm sorry about the death of your sister. Or tech sister. So am I. The tech priest's inscrutable gaze is fixed upon the body once inhabited by Pascal's shared mind. The voice from the Vox is like the tolling of bells, summoning a host of angels. I declare the period of ignorance over, and will resume execution of the general algorithm. Integrity has been rehabilitated to a satisfactory degree. Memory access has been restored. I remember everything. Pascal turns to you and gives you a long look brimming with quiet elation. What's next? What is the general algorithm? A judgment must be passed. Should the secret of Eschatos exist, or to be shunned as a false path? And should I exist, that is, we, Amernat. Amernat was a union of 6 tech priests, but all but a few of them are dead now. How does Amernat still exist? Everything Amernat was at the moment of the disconnection has now awoken in my mind. We are at the point where we stopped, but the Amernat collective was envisioned as a dynamic structure. We need new minds. The collective can be replenished with worthy minds from among those aboard the Hermetico. Sincerity is present in their motives and faith. They are intuitively capable of comprehending the notion of discontinuing the cycle. Our collective memory can compensate for their lack of knowledge, and memory of the rites. Restoration is possible. Pascal, or what used to be known as Pascal, makes a sacred gesture, and the green sparks run down his mechanical arm. But the judgment must be passed first. What judgment are we leaning toward? We have seen many things over the decades. We have seen true corruption, the distortion of the Omniscience design, Kiava Gamma, Eophrates II, and the planets of Xenos pass into oblivion. Our own crimes, the darkness grows. There must be a fire to burn it away. I am leaning toward the idea that Eschatos is necessary, that Amernat is necessary, that the cycle must be discontinued. What will the destruction of Eschatos mean for you? An act of self-sacrifice. I will destroy the data concerning this technology and the methods of reproducing it. I will burn it out of my neural circuits, along with everything that led to this creation. Amernat will be no more. Only a damaged and incomplete shard of him will remain. Pascal Hahnemann. I think that in my first playthrough I kept Amernat. I want to see if we could destroy it and keep Pascal this time. What would happen? The god's voice is thunderous and mournful. Eschatos is not to blame for the schism and the bloodshed that followed its creation. The blame lies with us. The innermost secret must not be lost because of our imperfection. We recognize that the Amernat Collective has proved itself incapable of solving the dilemma, and does not deserve rebirth, so let the dilemma henceforth be solved by Pascal Hahnemann alone. Do what you have decided to do. Pascal throws back his head and the power brimming in his voice rushes forth like a flood. A tech priest's booming voice is heard throughout the ship, echoed by every vox speaker on every deck. I peered into the vortex of time and saw dark omens. I saw that my tech comrades and I were trapped in the cycle, spiraling toward nothingness. I saw inevitable doom at the end of that trajectory and rebelled against it. In accordance with the machine god's commandments, I have crafted a tool with which to implement my design. In accordance with his commandment, I have developed a plan and analyzed it. Now I will act. By my power as the Archmagus, I hereby effect a restoration and revive the Amernat Collective. The servants of the Omnissiah need a Messiah who will discontinue their cycle, and I will be that Messiah. I am him. I think he went with the first choice I did anyway, which is keep Amernat. And fine by me. The Akgen tribe folks, the ignorant fosterlings of the Omnissiah, slip into the observatorium hall like silent shadows, led by an intuitive grasp of the significance of the moment they automatically gather in a circle, heeding Pascal's summons, or perhaps at this point someone else's. You hear echoes of other voices in Pascal's, a touch of Dement's anxiety, of Taruz's zeal, of Axiomanta's pensiveness. They all fuse into a new voice, full of wisdom and confidence in his prerogative to lead. The voice of Archmagus Amernat, and this voice takes hold of the lips of your companions, new brothers and sisters. The ancient tech priest turns his gaze toward you and says with what? I don't know what that word is. Let the cycle be discontinued. Alright, well, that concludes all the companions. We do get a better axe, I believe. Unique flamer of some sort. Bunch of armor that is not really that good. When the wearer uses machine spirit commune, their intelligence is increased by 5 for each affected enemy until the end of combat. This is huge for him. When the wearer uses overcharge on the plasma weapon, that attack ignores enemies' deflection and deals 2 multiplied by intelligence bonus plus ballistic bonus additional damage. Whenever the wearer ally is under the effect of the joint analysis ability, hits a target with an exploit, the wearer gains plus 5 perception. The wearer suffers 2 multiplied by 5 plus int bonus less impact and energy damage. When the wearer suffers impact or energy damage, the attacking enemy suffers power damage. Okay, just Pascal stuff. And I believe it is better than
Watching the lazy handle sacred technology breaks my heart.
what I currently have.
Figuratively speaking, my cardiovascular augmentation can withstand much more than high blood pressure.
I'm gonna equip it all pretty much at this point. The prey stuff we could neglect because the joint analysis is much easier to perform. And so he is pretty much in bis gear, I would say. Yeah. Okay, I think what I have is better. Whenever I hit something with it, at least my plasmas will deal more damage. So, with that, we can move.
Know your duty.
This exploratory splash
Let us walk this path to the end.
Just loot all the supplies, I suppose. Why not?
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
If I just exit, can I loot them? Yes. Your Lordship, we are observing a large squadron of Adeptus Mechanicus forces. Many of the ships are badly damaged. Judging by the position of the servants of the Omnissiah, they are divided into two groups. I dare say they were fighting not long ago. I'm picking up a signal from one of the ships. The ship is identified as a Von Valancius Dynasty vessel. You are being hailed by a representative of the Explorator Cognizance fleet. Query, is the statement that the Messiah considered fallen has come back true? Is the statement that the cycle will be discontinued true? They wish to know if their battle should continue. What do you think I should answer, Magnus? Tell them the statement is true. Amernat has returned to reign and unite his flock. Blessed Amernat calls upon those who remained loyal to him to put an end to the unbelievers and thus mend the schism. I think I went the first option the first time. I'm going to try this one. We are picking up an active Vox exchange on encrypted frequencies between the explorator ships. They are opening fire. They are shooting one another, but a good part of the ships from the same squadron seem to have joined their opponents. This is a slaughter. They have no chance. The Cognizance fleet praises the returned Messiah. The hierarchy of the command has been restored. Let the cycle be discontinued. Okay. Interesting.